A different person, the final ending, first part down below. I've fallen apart today. I don't know why. Feel frozen. Don't want to be anywhere. Sucks. I have so much work to do and I host a public meeting in 3 hours. I get into work and right in the middle, I fall apart. I sure don't feel like being in front of the public, but I have no choice. I almost broke down on a phone call earlier, found a quick escape. That ain't normal me. Woke up feeling pretty good but spiraled down quickly. Just took a little walk, trying to breathe a little in between things I need to do. I'm really surprised at myself. My logic and my plan are straight, but my emotions are all over the place. The only other time I've felt so overwhelmed and edgy is after I found my uncle dead from a shotgun in his mouth a few years back. I had to be strong for the family then, but I felt like I wanted to run 1,000 miles away. Feeling that way now. I set up an appointment to start IC again. I got to get out of this spot so I can move on. I had trouble with sleeping and images after my uncle. A friend of mine secretly scheduled a counseling appointment and tricked me into going. Best gift ever. It took some time, but I worked through it. Made me a believer in good counseling. I'm looking forward to this being just a memory. Tomorrow at 5 I meet with the lawyer to amend the separation agreement. He said he will send it immediately. I'm relieved to get that moving. Better day today. Separation papers are done on my end. Now, the ball's in her court. I have read some about BPD. My counselor just gave me a book, Stop Walking on Eggshells, about living with someone with BPD. I don't entirely understand the disorder yet, but I can tell you the description aligns right on with my STBX's behavior. Speaking of irrational, I got an email from STBX this morning asking me why I hacked her Facebook. I don't even know which of the multiple accounts she has that she uses. I don't know how to hack Facebook, and I'm not interested in that or anything related to her. She's so weird, but that stuff makes it much easier to detach. Last night was difficult. At one of the projects I manage, we had the first in our annual series of concerts. My STBX always put a lot of time and energy into those. She was so popular with the attendees. I knew it would make me miss the STBX's good side, so I had planned on setting up and then leaving someone else in charge. But I stayed. I wanted to just feel whatever I had to feel and get used to the way things are now. So, I stayed. I was sad, but the event was successful and I survived. Ever since we met, the good qualities of STBX were the ones I've always looked for in a partner. I realized last night that's what has kept me on a string for so long, holding out hope that the good would win out over the bad. It just doesn't happen that way. Probably never does. I have to mourn the loss of that part of her and find comfort in the fact that I no longer have to deal with the drama of the other side of her. What I can hope for now is to someday find those qualities in someone who is healthy. But whatever, it's kind of nice to wake up on a Sunday with 1,000 choices of what to do with the day. My choices. The local sheriff is my friend. He intervened last year when STBX wanted OM out of her life. The sheriff got his record, called him and warned him he'd be watching his every move and to not contact us again. It worked. Scared the guy. At the time, the sheriff told me about this guy's record. Pretty bad. Multiple charges. Well, today the sheriff brought me an updated sheet of charges. While STBX was dark with OM the past few months, OM was busy racking up some more charges and bar time for ex-women and interfering with the cops who were trying to help them. I know there's not a damn thing I can do about it. I know it's not my job to rescue her, but I am worried about her safety. I don't want anyone I love or care for to be hurt, but it's inevitable in this case. I had dinner tonight with one of STBX's best friends. Well, best friend when she wasn't on the ever-changing blacklist. This friend had tried to warn me that STBX was back in contact with OM a couple of weeks before my son caught her. She wanted to meet up tonight to see if I was okay and to assure me, based on what she knew about STBX's lies, that I am making the right decision and moving on. We compared stories. Not much of it was a shock to me, but it did help hearing how disloyal she was and how she had lied to a mutual friend. It just reinforces how finished I am. The friend commented on how much it seems I have my stuff together and that it's STBX's loss. I said, yes, it is her loss. Felt good to have some confidence. Mine knows OM's record and about his alcoholism. According to a friend, she's excusing it with the same line. He's misunderstood and really a great guy. Society's fault. I am glad she's 500 miles away so she can't blame me when he hits her. Of course, that might not stop her from trying to blame me. I had a put it all in perspective kind of moment today. Part of my gal is learning to fly, something I started years ago, stopped, and then picked up again after my STBX left the first time. A friend of mine took me and 2 other friends up today in his plane. He miscalculated the weight and balance. We were over the gross weight. We live in a mountainous area. One end of the runway departs into the open valley, the other into a valley with mountain ridges on either side. The idea when taking off that direction is to gain enough altitude to cross through a cut in the lowest ridge. That's the departure he chose. As we took off today, the plane struggled to climb. We were flying below the ridgeline with no altitude to cut through the low ridge. In front and on the other side are mountains that rise to between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. At times the plane was sinking toward the trees. When he would try to climb, the airspeed would drop and the stall warning would sound. I was in the back, so I had no way of helping. It was a strange feeling. Everyone was tense and scared. I sort of felt resigned to the fact that we were going down. I only remember thinking that hoped everyone would be okay and that it wouldn't hurt too much and that I would rather it be quick if I was going to die. But I felt strangely calm. Luckily, my friend didn't panic. He did a series of maneuvers where he leveled the plane to pick up speed and then climb, sort of in steps. We flew a long way beside the ridge before we turned and cleared it just above the treetops. We might have had 100 feet. He turned into the pattern and took us back in for a safe landing. He was very shaken and apologetic when we got in. The folks at the airport said they were watching and were sure we were going to crash. My friend said it was the worst thing he could imagine. I said no, it wasn't. We were alive and on the ground and able to fly again soon. Good to be home tonight. Had a great flight this morning. Smooth air. No troubles at all. It made me feel all the more thankful for getting in safe yesterday. I felt the strongest today that I have in a long time. I think I enjoyed the day without much sadness. Had an IC session this afternoon. My counselor said this was the strongest and calmest he'd ever seen me. We talked about BPD some. He compared some of his BPD clients' behavior with that of my STBX. Exactly the same, like a script. We're working on me not feeling so responsible for her behavior or the way things turned out. Kind of a do you think you're God? Omnipotent? What makes you think you can control the outcome of everything or everyone's emotions? It helps me think in that way. Some of you all have given the same advice. It's interesting that I've learned to detach from my son's behavior and my family. I love them and want the best for them, but I know I can't control their behaviors or the outcomes. Same with work. I just say what I think, set my personal boundaries, and accept what happens. It's a mystery why I couldn't detach that way with STBX. I'm getting there. The counselor also told me to accept the fact, as many of you also told me, that I have to mourn the good part of my marriage. He suggested some sort of memorial to that past. So, I picked a rose from a rose bush she bought me to plant in the yard a while back. It was one of those just because gifts. It looks and smells good. So, I brought it in the house. It made me smile about the good times, made me appreciate them in the way you do with someone who is gone forever. It felt good not to be angry or make those memories complicated, just accept it as something in the past. I know there will be ups and downs, but this plateau feels good. I am thankful for the distance between me and STBX. I don't have to constantly worry about her showing up at my door like before. The calm and space give me time to put my life back together. She sent a text and emailed asking if I'm okay. I only responded, doing good. Thanks. I also got a message from her family that I haven't read yet. She's tried calling a few times, but I don't feel like talking. We have a lot of storms pass through the mountains here in the spring. I sit on my porch and look off to the north. In the distance, I can see silent flashes of lightning. Here it's calm, just the crickets chirping. But somewhere over the ridges, I know it's loud, windy, wet, and violent. That reminds me of where I am right now. It's calm here, but I know somewhere the drama is raging. I see faint flashes of it and it makes me thankful for the quiet. I guarantee her attempts at contact will increase now that I'm feeling good again. It's been the pattern in the past. But it didn't take me long to turn around this time and I'm not even slightly interested in talking to her. First time feeling indifference towards her. Family contacted me to ask the name of a place we visited last year. Obviously, they're still being lied to. Oh well, lots of calls and texts from STBX tonight. She says she wants to make sure I'm okay and doing well. And she tells me she's out of money already. Wants to sign the separation papers soon. I only answered that I'm fine, thanks. Papers coming soon. She asked me to call, but I didn't want to. The separation papers are already being drawn up, but the divorce still takes a year, and there is no settlement. Last year, I was willing to do that. This year, I'm not giving anything. Just got a text from STBX, I hate you. That was a quick turnaround from trying to butter me up. No one has said those words to me since my son was 9 years old and he didn't get his way. I feel like I'm slipping today. Just a couple of days ago, I was looking good, according to everyone around, and feeling good. Moving on. Now, I'm back to sad again. I turned off all devices last night and got away. I was in the mood to be away from people. The I hate you didn't do much to me during the day, but last night, it messed with me. This afternoon when I turned on the phone, 3 texts from STBX. The first 2 were apologies and her telling me of course she doesn't hate me. That she knows I've moved on this time. She won't try to get me back. She knows it's too late. She'll stop trying to contact me. Goodbye husband. Maybe I'm a sap, but the goodbye husband threw me into the dark. It plowed up all kinds of feelings. She texted begging for a reply to know that I am okay. I texted back that I was okay, that I needed to get away from people. She said she didn't want me sad. She hasn't told her family, but they ask for me. She wants me to stay connected to them. She wants me to call. I agree to later. But now, I'm so down. Not a good idea to call in this state. I feel like I'm backsliding on myself. Like I owe myself an apology. The feelings I have for the good her just welled back up and I feel miserable again. I won't be plan B, still moving ahead. Felt good again today. Working on my codependency with the IC. I'm like an addict. I have to treat it that way. your logic ever gets in an argument with your codependent side. I know better. I'll be learning to live alone. My son texted me today to tell me that he's found a place and will be moving out this weekend. I'm not afraid of being alone, but it is going to be lonely around here. Empty house, empty farm. Having people over tomorrow night, get some life back into this house. No chicken chasing though. My 99 recommended medication today. It's the first time he's recommended it. We're working through my feelings of responsibility for everything. Like here's the list of everything I have done wrong, and that's why my wife cheated on me and left me, or my sense that the things I do, even the small one, will affect life's course to some great degree. It's been so helpful. I'm learning and working on a better me. I hate taking medication, but maybe I need it now. Trouble sleeping, trouble waking up when I do sleep, and trouble getting things done. Focus. I've been getting out, exercising, being with friends, doing hobbies, but I got to get some, or a lot of work done now before I get into a whole new set of problems. So, my question is, do any of you have experience with antidepressants that also help with focus? I took a few different types years ago and had bad experiences. I know this sounds crazy, but I didn't like the way I felt medicated. Most made me sleepy, and one made me feel like my heart was going to beat right out of my chest. I don't remember the names of the medications, except I do remember that Paxil made me feel drowsy all the time. I have been struggling with work, partly because my wife did a lot of work on one of the projects, but mostly because my head has been in a fog and my focus has been gone. I've been trying hard to refocus, been exercising at least once a day, trying, without success, to establish a routine again. My mind just won't be still. My body feels like it wants to sleep all the time. Meanwhile, a lot of work isn't getting done. My work is project-based, so it's fortunately not a set schedule, but unfortunately, it's demanding almost 7 days a week and it's very public work, so it's hard to take a break. I'm also back in school for a master's. I'm already a week behind in the summer semester. I guess I'm getting worried because since it's public service work, my business depends on my reputation. I try to keep private about any personal problems, but I'm wondering if I should just tell the people I work with what's going on. I'm looking for volunteers, intern to fill the void. Also found a senior program that might be able to place an employee for free. I don't know how I got through undergrad. First wife ran away midway through, became single dad, a lot of skin of my teeth. Haha, it took a while to graduate, but I did it. Somehow, I'm trying to stay on top of the courses. I know it'll pay off in the long run. My interest level is really low right now, but if I can make it through a week or two, I think I'll be fine. Actually, had a productive afternoon. Wow, got up early today. Went flying before work. As I was leaving the airport, a girl started talking and flirting with me. Good looking. She actually gave me her number. I didn't ask for it. She gave it to me. Made me feel damn good. Totally unexpected. I took her back 3 times. And man, did I feel humiliated when I was paying her way while she cheated. This time when she left, I cut off everything. Finally learned my lesson. My attorney is drawing up separation papers and a way to have everything signed back over to my name. It's still hard when I remember the good times and the good her. I'm getting better at just feeling that stuff and working through it. But I feel so much better about myself this time since I didn't allow her to take advantage of me. The theme throughout all the back and forth is that the OM kept coming back into the picture, a lesson a lot of people on here could learn. I haven't followed up on the number the girl gave me the other day. I don't feel ready for that kind of thing yet. But I've been getting attention from other girls in my circle of friends. Not ready to act on any of it, but it does feel good knowing I can get back in the game when I'm ready. I need some time to get healthy and get back on purpose first. And really, I don't have energy to put towards a relationship now. So, I'll take the ego boost of getting some interest, but I'm going to leave it at that. I'm starting to enjoy the freedom of being single. Talked on the phone with STBX last night. We talked about the separation agreement. Kept it on point and brief, for the most part. I've been helping one of her girlfriends with some business that she's unfamiliar with. So, we've been in contact regularly. We have also compared stories from the STBX. Well, STBX was trying hard to run interference between us last night on the phone. She was trying to paint her friend in a bad light and trying to paint her as a liar. I think she thinks that there's some interest in me on the part of the friend. I don't know, but I'm not interested at all, just helping her out. Anyway, the jealousy was interesting, especially from someone who is still married and living with another man. So, I got off the phone as soon as I could. She then sends multiple texts about how miserable she is and how unsure she is about her life. I just wished her happiness and said good night. I'm still grieving the loss of the good part of her and the good times we had. There's a part of her that truly is a good human being. But I recognize that for what it is. Grief over the loss of that part and that part only. I do not miss the drama and the hurt associated with the rest of her. I felt so detached and distant on the phone last night. It felt right. She emailed me today about the papers from an email account that OM monitors. She was so formal. Stuff like that used to get under my skin. Now it just makes me thankful that it's not part of my daily life. Update on the papers, they are ready. The attorney will send them to me on Monday for review. He also sent me the bill. So, I will have her sign, but I might have to wait to file as it is more expensive than I thought. Since the attorney is a friend, I'm hoping he'll do the work and let me pay later so I can get it done. I feel so detached from it all. I do still love and care for her and hope that someday she can be happy in her life, but I just don't respond to the junk the way I used to. Doesn't faze me. In fact, it repels me, and I no longer feel responsible for how she feels or what she does. We talked again last night. It was supposed to be about the papers, but I needed to sleep, so we didn't really talk more than a minute or so. So, she texted that she wanted the papers soon as it would help her start her new life. She says she's sad about the separation. Maybe the papers will help force her to move on. Once again, it's all about her. I'm supposed to spend my time and money for something to help her. It makes me want to take my time paying for them. But I need to press forward for me. I'm pushing myself to consider only what's best for me. A new paradigm for me, but it's working. My job to make an awesome life for myself, including never allowing anyone in who cheats and lies and not making decisions based on what everyone else wants. I'm blowing off a couple of days of work to help my friend fly an airplane halfway across the country, a dream for me. It's a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. Selfish of me to blow everything off, but it feels good to do something like this for a change. All part of the new me, working out, finishing my pilot's license, finishing my master's, overcoming nice guy syndrome, getting healthy, moving forward. We flew for 8 hours, over 1,000 miles yesterday. It was amazing. We flew around 500 miles out and then had to come back home immediately. We were working on a deadline to be back, and the thunderstorm forecast for the next few days doesn't look good for the other destination we had. So, it was a long, tiring, amazing day of flying yesterday. I can't wait to do it again. Although it was a great day, I had a few moments. It's funny what unexpected things will trigger sadness and nostalgia. Oh well, back home now. Have to focus on work and then the papers. Now I have the answer and it's clear as freaking day. I let her do it. I gave her all the power. I didn't value myself or what I brought to the table. I felt like a piece of crap, therefore she treated me like a piece of crap. Had a great day today. Got enough sleep last night after the flight. Got up. Got things done. I helped STBX's girlfriend get a permit today that she's been after for months. I used to be in public service and know all the people and rules involved, so it took some phone calls and some assertiveness, but I got it done. The friend said, "Wow, you deal with those people so well, calm and assertive. That's got to be part of what attracted STBX." I just smiled, but I was thinking, if only I had been calm and assertive and persistent to get what I wanted. In the end, I was the opposite with the STBX. I was a needy doormat. I can make things happen, get people to move, and not take crap, and still be very nice in my professional life, but not when it came to STBX. Lesson I got to learn when it comes to relationships. So, the friend is elated and posted some stuff on her Facebook about seeing me in action, how thankful she is. Well, guess whose phone has been ringing since then? But whatever, I felt more confident today than I have in a long time. It's amazing how attracted people are to confidence. I felt attractive for the first time since I don't know when. I'm not sure what triggered it, but I'm in breakdown mode this morning. I had trouble getting up and have one of those hide from the world feelings. Just went outside, sat down and got uncontrollably emotional. I feel so sad. Strange thing is I can't pinpoint it. Even though I feel lonely, I'm glad no one is around to see me right now. I don't know what this is. It's been an hour and it's not stopping. Just comes in waves. Locusts buzzing in the summer is one of my favorite sounds. The sound means it's finally summer here. It brings back so many memories of growing up. Good memories. But today, it also made me really sad. If I didn't have tons of work I'm behind on, I think I'd stay in bed and hide out today. Wow, such a dramatic change from the way I was feeling yesterday. Sat down outside some more to try to break down the breakdown. It's making a little more sense to me. It's a combination of things making me sad. My work and studies. I'm still so behind, not only because I was so focused on working on the marriage before, but also because I've been so focused on working on me lately. And days like this don't help either. My job requires a lot of focus and concentration, a lot of writing, and a lot of interaction with people, all of which are impossible when I'm in breakdown mode. Of course, my studies also require concentration and focus. Then there's also outside work here that I haven't kept up with. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I can feel the need to refresh, like getting in the truck and going up on the mountain and sitting by a cold creek for a while, but the weight of everything I need to do would follow me. The slowness of getting to indifference. Although I've detached from any future with STBX, I'm still not there in terms of indifference. She's still in my thoughts and I still, for some unknown reason, care. You would think, after all she's done, that I would be angry and not give a $$N. Still giving a $$N makes me feel like an ass notch. I end up sad about how I'm not focusing on myself when I give a $$N and mad at myself. I mean, how much abuse and disrespect does it take? And, although I know it's best for me to ignore the phone calls and texts, which I do, it makes me sad that she a person I dread talking to. I miss the her that I loved talking to, that I couldn't wait to talk to. The sadness of loss. I guess this one takes a while. As you all have advised, I allow myself to feel it. I feel it for the marriage, but I'm feeling that for my family as well. We used to be a really big, really tight mountain family, but lots of them have died and those left have such busy lives. The sense of loss also includes the dreams we had together. They were beautiful dreams. We accomplished some and we're on our way to accomplishing others. The evidence is all around me at home and at work. Money. I'm in debt for the first time in years. I mean, I've had a mortgage and car payments before, but now I'm in extra debt because we spent so much the past year and a half while trying to fix the marriage. Travel, building a house for her family, overspending. Normally, I can come up with a strategy and take on extra contracts to get out of it. Eventually that's what I'll do, but my lack of focus is keeping me from it right now. It's weighing on me. The papers. I have the papers. They need minor edits, but they're ready to send to her. I dread sending them because I know it's going to lead to another big episode for which I don't have the energy. I don't feel ready. I want to be ready so I can deal with this in a way that I can feel good about myself. I don't want to be drawn in. I don't want to give in. At the same time, I don't want to be a butt. I want to prioritize my needs and be firm while also being compassionate. I don't hate her, nor do I want revenge or punishment. Understand that I don't feel like a victim in all of this. I got the most pressing work done that I needed to get done today. Things due tomorrow. Still lots to do. I've decided on the changes, minor ones, I want on the separation papers. I want to send them tomorrow. Just bite the bullet. It's most likely going to be messy, so might as well get it over with. On another note, STBX's friend is getting a little too close. She's being nice and grateful for my help with her permit, brought me some food and such. That's nice, but she's texting a lot and already assuming that we will spend time together this weekend. I'm going to be clear to her that we won't be spending time together. No relationships. I'm not in the right place for it. I need time for myself. And I'm still married. It would feel like cheating at this point. Not to mention, a little weird that she's STBX's friend. I want to take my time. It's my second divorce, something I said I would never do. Plus there was another 9-year live-in relationship in between the two marriages. Number 1 crazy drama, number 2 boring, number 3 crazy drama. Once I get through this one, it's definitely something I'm working on. I was invited out this weekend by the friend. I told her no and that I'm not in any condition to go out, even casually. I did say that I'd be up for hanging out in mixed groups of friends, but no dates, no alone time. The drama train left the station last night, but I did not ride. I sent the papers yesterday. Got a message back with a couple of demands, one reasonable, 2 others not. I can see this is going to be a longer process than I thought, but I feel good that it's moving. So, last night, STBX texts asking if she can call. Assuming it was to talk about the papers, I said yes after my classes. Then, I get 4 missed calls from Mr. Police reports. Of course, I didn't answer. Classes were 4 hours. Didn't have the phone with me. After classes, I have some text messages from STBX. He wants me to call you to come pick me up. Remember, she's about 500 miles away. Then, according to the timestamp, an hour later, never mind, he's going to help me get on my feet. Sorry to have messaged you about this. Then later, don't worry about me. I'm fine. What would the old doormat me have done? He would have gotten in the car, driven all night only to discover that STBX and Mr. Police reports had already made up by the time he arrived and STBX no longer needed his services. What did the new me do? I didn't do a damn thing. No reply, nothing. Tuned the phone off and went to sleep. Felt so good to stay off that ride. I changed the locks a week after she left this time. Because of her lack of transportation, money, and the distance, I haven't seen it as a real possibility that she would show up here. I still think it's highly unlikely she'll show up. But just in case, I would take suggestions on a plan. She has nowhere to stay if she comes back here and she can't stay at my house. Been really quiet the last few days. STBX tried to call once. Texted to ask if I'm okay and that's it. Seems to be losing interest. I've heard that she's found a job in her new town. Single life and peace and quiet are getting awesome. I had a great weekend. Spent the whole weekend with family and friends. So many good people in my life. I am thankful and grateful. How did I ever have time for all that other stuff? One of my best buddies got a shock today. He got engaged just a few weeks ago. His fiancée drove 5 hours to get here to see him. When she got here, she broke it off. Says she's not feeling it in her gut. Needs time to figure out what her gut is telling her. They've been dating for years. Trade out weekends driving to see each other. She doesn't have a history of lying, cheating, drama or anything like that. She's level-headed, straightforward, professional, and shows her love and affection for him. It's a shocker. Devastating for him. He plans on giving her time. After my experiences, I can't help but being a little suspicious. Well, I screwed up tonight. I got caught up in text drama with STBX. She wanted me to resend the separation papers, so I did. When I did, she said it was trickery. I was trying to trick her, take everything. So, my mistake was answering. I told her, no, it's not trickery. It was written by my lawyer, and we can write it however we agree to write it. I said, you know me better than that. I mean, I can't believe she would think I would be into tricking her. Not something I would do. She said, yes, I'm getting to know you really well now. I don't trust you. I don't trust your lawyer. The way you're doing this has broken me. I said, no one is forcing you to do anything. You're the one who wanted separation and divorce. Then, I get the mind screw. She says, you're saying you don't want separation or divorce. You should have thought of that before you did something to ruin the marriage. Well, too bad. You don't have to struggle. I still hurt. I always have to hurt and struggle. You get to be happy. You should be happy. I worked so hard for the marriage. I sacrificed work, money, health. Meanwhile, she chose another man over her marriage. She's hurt. Dang, I wish I hadn't gotten sucked in. For sure she won't be signing any papers now. I keep everything she sends. It's all recorded as we don't talk on the phone anymore. I changed all of the passwords the day after she left. I'll check out the cam. Big, quick turnaround. STBX just texted that she's sorry she was emotional. Says she wants some changes, but will cooperate and sign, so we can get through the separation. I've been doing so good lately, not taking bait, ignoring everything. I thought yesterday that I had an opening to get the separation papers finally taken care of. That's what got me sucked in. I wish I would have handled it differently, but I became the mole. I can see now that the separation papers are not going to happen. My lawyer tells me this morning to play nice and try to squeak out as unscathed as possible, meaning according to my state, no fault, she's entitled to stuff. So, he thinks I should give in on some things just to get her to sign. But I can see now that every time I give in on something, it's going to lead to something else, and this is going to drag out. 1 year before I can file for divorce. It's got me thinking that maybe the separation papers isn't worth it. Maybe just go dark and wait until I can file for divorce. I can't make her sign separation papers. It's so damn confusing talking to someone like her. Nothing is reasonable. I mean, we can't even work out how we want to separate. And she plainly said that she will not talk to my lawyer. So, I don't know. I'm at the point of saying screw it and just wait for divorce. Here I am off course again. We've now reached an agreement on the separation agreement. She will supposedly sign tomorrow and send them back on Friday. I had to give on sharing an investment, but that's not a big deal as there is no guarantee that it will ever pay out. The big deal is I will have everything that was mine prior to the marriage back in my name. My life is more and more awesome. It's been 2 weeks and she hasn't sent the papers back. No calls, texts, or anything for a week, which is great. Meanwhile, I've spent some time with her friends. The more I learn about the lies she was telling them, the more my dislike for her is bordering on hate and disgust. Now I wish I could go back in time and kick my own bottom. I've also been out with a girl a couple of times. It's been fun, relaxed, and eye-opening. She's independent, goal-driven, and hard-working. She has her own life and doesn't need anyone. It's helped me see just how screwed up my so-called marriage was, how much of a needy user my ex was. My work has really taken off lately too. I've put in some really long days lately, getting a lot done and still feeling lots of energy from it. I have zero concern for her. As far as the papers, I'd rather get that over with now, but in the end it doesn't matter. I can just file for divorce next May 8th. Yeah, a part of me figured she wouldn't sign. She rarely follows through with anything, and I'm sure she'll try to pull something at some point. I don't give a crap. I allowed myself to be hindered and pulled down so long. Now that X is out, I can see how many positive, loyal people there are out there who sincerely care for me, givers, not takers. I neglected those relationships while I had my head up X's audit. But I'm making up for lost time, good friends and family, nobody demanding or needing anything. As far as dating, I had forgotten that there were women out there who won't suck up all your life and money until you're dry. And dang, it feels good to be focused on me and not some relationship or some made-up neediness. Great and unexpected news. I have received the signed and notarized separation papers. I keep everything that I've worked so hard for. Didn't have to give anything. In the past 2 weeks, I've learned about another boyfriend she had, a bus driver in her home country who she used to see when she was there staying in the house we built there. And I have learned from some of her coworkers that she had an elaborate story about how I abused her and treated her like a slave. Although, the other boyfriend wasn't really that shocking. The slap on my reputation stung a little. Fortunately, people knew better. So, good riddance. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying life. Yay for the papers. I really thought it was going to be a problem and a fight. All that's left is for my attorney to file them, change the deeds, and change the ownership of my consulting business. Then, done. Final update. Things are going great. Been working on a new life. I haven't talked to the ex in weeks. She's tried to contact me several times. Nothing left to talk about. Got the papers. Life is quiet. There have been ups and downs, regular family and work stuff, all part of life, but nothing like the crap I was going through with the ex. I still get a little down every now and then about how long it took me to get my life back under my control, but I can say that my life is better now than it's been in years. My comment: congrats on getting the papers. Don't let the slap on the reputation bug you. It's common and the stories will likely get more outlandish as time goes on. Just keep putting her in the rear view mirror. Did you like the ending? Comment down and see you in the next one.